And guests. Give me a cheer if anybody has ever looked up to you as a demigod or god.
Yeah.
Some god men, some god women in the room. My wife and I grew up as dog lovers. When we moved to an apartment, our dreams of owning a dog just went up in thin air. One afternoon, we were walking around the apartment block and we saw a cat running around. So my wife was agog and she said, "Oh, so cute." And she laid out a bowl of milk for the cat. So the cat started coming back home for more bowls of milk and decided to stay. We decided to adopt the cat, so we had to come up with a genius name. So we decided to call the cat Billu. Billu means cat in Hindi. I told you, we were genius. My wife thought Billu was a female cat. So she started treating Billu as a princess, adorning with jewels, and then talking to the cat. A couple of weeks, Billu started getting another orange cat home to play. We again had to adopt this cat and wanted to give it a genius name. So we called it Lali. Lali means red or orange in Hindi. So while we thought Billu and Lali were having a pajama party, our mother-in-law came home one day and she called us for an emergency meeting. We didn't know what she wanted to talk about. So she called the both of us, looked at the both of us and said, "Have you noticed Lali's tummy? It's bulged. She must be pregnant." I was like, what is with elderly women noticing the tummies of female species and declaring if they're pregnant or not? So we took Billu and Lali to the vet and discovered 3 shocking truths. Truth number 1, Billu was indeed a male cat. Truth number 2, Billu and Lali were not having a pajama party. They were reproducing. So Lali was pregnant. When my wife heard this, she went in classic Bollywood style and said, "No, my Billu is too young. He wouldn't have done this." So the vet let her go through the drama, looked at her very calmly and said, "Madam, cats attain sexual maturity within 3 months. Your Billu is 5 months old, so please." Well, it was like a face-palm moment for the both of us. Lali then delivered kittens after a few weeks, and when we showed Billu what he had created, he said meow, which we interpreted as, "What? Not me? I didn't do anything." When we didn't buy into his excuses, he threatened to commit suicide under a stationery sign. When that plan did not work, Billu inhaled a bottle of beer and decided to leave. Major male species problems. First drama, then denial, then breakup. When we told Lali that Billu had left, Lali looked at us in the mirror and said meow, which we interpreted as, "Your son did this. I'm not going to put up with this, so you deal with this," and she left. So now we were left with the kittens and we had to raise the kittens. As the kittens started growing, they wanted to discover the world outside the apartment. So they started venturing outside the apartment, and that is where they discovered human kids. Human kids were a nuisance to these kittens. The human kids wanted to hold them, they wanted to pet them, but the kittens wanted to run away from them. During one such kids and kittens games, one of the kittens ran and jumped up a tree to realize climb trees. So the kitten was so ecstatic that it climbed and climbed and climbed up till it reached the end of the tree. Upon reaching the pinnacle, the kitten looked up to heavens and got a message which said, "Puss in Boots movie playing in the parking lot. Please come down for a free preview." And 20 bachelors appeared from nowhere. So they had committed to something which they didn't completely understand. So they were so angry with themselves that they shook the tree with so much power, and the rest of us were holding a blanket and doing Bollywood steps under it, right? We were waiting for the kitten to fall down. Finally, the kitten fell down, and then we took them home. So the kittens then wanted to try their instinctive nature, which was to hunt. So every time they would try to hunt for mice, the mice would just run off and then the kittens would come back. classic Tom and Jerry problems. So when the kittens would come back home hungry and then dejected, my wife would open a box of fresh food which smelled like exotic fish, which smelled like food from the exotic land. The kittens didn't have to do anything. They had to just be there, appear cute, and then they would get food. So they started looking up to her as demigod, the woman who gave them food. My wife had to travel out of town for a month, so they were stuck with me. So one day they wanted to have water and then they followed me. I opened the tap and they saw running water for the first time. They were like, bro, this man can do magic. He's showing us running water. He must be demigod too. So they started following me around the house and then they started hanging out with me, sleeping with me at night. One of the nights I wanted to use the bathroom. So I got up and then the kitten slowly followed me. What they saw there established the fact that I was God. While I stood in the bathroom going about my business, the kittens were shocked. They looked at me and they were like, bro, not only can this guy show us running water, he generates water from his body. And that cemented my place as God in their eyes. So Toastmasters, do you also want to feel like demigod and God?
Yes.
Then please adopt street pets, cats, dogs. Your simple gesture of giving them food, shelter, and water will be rewarded with them looking up to you as demigods and gods in their eyes. Over to the Toastmaster.